It's 10 to 10, and you're listening to Saturday Live on BBC Radio 4, and that talk of football has left buried stress fluttering at the edge of my consciousness, because I was not only the last to be picked for football when I was at school, my unfortunate teammates compounded the humiliation by hanging a dead albatross around my neck before pushing me weeping onto the pitch. Now imagine that, not really, now imagine that happening when you're an adult. At the age of 35, our listener Raphael, a Frenchman in London, decided to take up football. But how do you do that as a complete novice? Where do you learn the rudiments of the beautiful game? And how do you cope with the shame of no one passing you the ball, even when you're 12-0 down and standing in front of an open goal? Raphael, first of all, how did you manage not to have acquired the rudiments of football by the age of 35?
Well, I'm still not too sure why I managed to avoid that sport for 35 years. I used to do a lot of gymnastics and martial arts, and then I injured myself. I had some repetitive strain injuries, like tendonitis in both elbows. Still have that now. So I've stopped martial arts when I was 20, and then I tried a lot of different sports.
But you grew up in Paris, I think.
Yeah, indeed, but I was in central Paris, so there were not a lot of football fields near my school, so I didn't have a chance to. It was just not a sport you could do at school.
But it's part
school.
of the national DNA, football.
I know, but surprisingly not at my school. I was blaming my teachers at that time. But then, so I tried a lot of different sports and hobbies until a day in 2012. I was sitting in an office in front of a financial advisor, signing up for my first mortgage.
Hurrah!
And he asked me basically, tell me about your hobbies, what you're doing, anything special. I said, yeah, I'm reading books, I'm traveling. He said, anything else? I said, yeah, I do a bit of scuba diving, snowboarding, skydiving, and I ride a motorbike. So he looked at me, and I could see his eyes almost popping out of his face, and he said, anything else I should know? I mean, do you smoke? And I was like, no, I don't. Are you sure? And I said, well, I'm a Frenchman, so yeah, I do sometimes when I have a bit of wine with my friends. I mean,
You're
that's
not
smoking, right? Exactly. So my premium was like 5 or 6 times a normal premium, so I obviously didn't sign up for the insurance, and I decided to become a bit more civilized and try a new sport, and that's why I thought about football.
Seriously, because I was trying to think, how would you start if you were starting at 35? What's the first phone call you made? Did you just turn up for a five-a-side?
Well, that's when I really struggled. I mean, I actually spent 2 years doing some research on how to learn how to play football. So I called a few football clubs. So they have trainings during the week and they have games on the weekends, but they wouldn't accept like a complete beginner. Again, couldn't pass the ball. So I emailed a few people and I called a few people, and that's when I learned the expression "bite the bullet." Yeah. Bite the bullet, Raphael, just play.
It sounds better when you say it.
Yeah, okay, bite the bullet.
So that's what you turned up one day.
So, and then I decided to create my own group, basically, because I thought if nobody wants to play with me, I may as well be the organizer. So, I created a group using the website Meetup, where you create communities. And so, yeah, that was how I started.
But what actually happened? So on the first day, there you are, all kitted and booted and ready to go. And then what did you turned onto the pitch and you thought, what do I do next?
The first day I was running on the pavement, holding an umbrella. It was really, it was raining and windy, and I managed to run into a lamppost, and I had 16 stitches on my forehead. Maybe you can see it on the radio.
Hang on, why was there a lamppost there?
On a pavement.
Oh, okay.
On a pavement, just running to my first.
Normal place.
Not in your football kit.
I was going to say, right.
Kicking football.
It's not football-related injury, but yeah,
okay.
I still have on the first day.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. And so, I just started organising games on that stage.
This is the stuff of nightmare to me. I would literally have a nightmare about finding myself standing at Wembley, running towards an open goal and literally not knowing what to do. And someone would pass me a ball and I think, well, theoretically, I guess I'm supposed to score a goal, but how do you do that?
Well, I don't play at Wembley yet. I do five-a-side football, and I started with friends, and so I organised games every week, and then that's when I wanted to learn and find shortcuts, which I found were quite useful at 35 years old, and I looked for a few coaches online, people to train me, and that's when I really struggled. I mean, I tried a few people, 10, maybe 15 of them, and they were not great. And being a teacher by trade, I mean, that's my job, language teacher. I'm pretty good at organising, planning sessions and so on. So I decided to become a coach myself. So that's what I did in October 2018.
And could you actually kick a ball? I mean, just the rudiments of it,
That's a very good
because that's a
question.
real challenge. Because when you're younger, and that's the sort of, if you have a natural instinct, then you can build that. But if you're, because I know some people don't, they do other sports, and it's just nothing that.
I think I can. I'm not sure my teammates would agree with that.
But when you started,
so when I
you
started,
know.
no, I never touched football before. I
Yeah,
mean, my
yeah.
parents were not into football. I cannot remember my dad watching football at home on TV. So
And the secret, Raphael, then, is to make a common cause with other people who can't play football, and that's what you do. You now coach people who can't play
So
football.
that's what I do now. I mean, I'm trying to be as inclusive as possible. I mean, the idea is, everybody talks about football. You watch it on TV and so on, the beautiful game from this country. But if you're an adult and you never played football before, then there's no opportunity for you to learn. So.
You've got an almost professional level of injury, however, the 16 stitches in the head. You now have a hand which sets off security torch.
I do, yeah. It happened last year, actually. I tried to get all out of my pockets, all the coins and everything, but yeah, it was my hand. I've got a 2-centimeter screw in my hand, so yeah. That was it.
Well, I mean, I played so much football when I was young that I've had various operations in my knee, and I've got metal in my knee, so that's a sort of.
Can I
So
just
we
say
share the
that
same
there's
experience,
someone
yeah.
in the studio who trumps all of you when it comes to injuries, and she's sitting over there,
But
Claire
we'll get
Nelson.
to that.
Yes.
But for the moment, Raphael Cooper, thank you very much. And if you'd like to join one of Raphael's games and you're in London, www.fiveasideforall, that's all one word, .com. Do get in touch.
Thank you very much.
And Michael in Edinburgh has texted just to say, I took up football at the age of 62, having never played. Well done, Michael.